everybody. This week on Horror Movie Night, we discuss fish-fucking French freaks and the films for fried fat asses for unfunny first graders with Kevin Smith's Tusk. Adam's teeth and mouth are disturbed. Scott's longing for his time away at sea. And I'm waxing psychological with men and meat. Kannon, the unhappy fishphile who felt the need to subject us to this garbage, is here with us too. Let me ask you, Kannon, are you a member of the Nazi Party?
No, I'm a member of the St. Mort fan club, though.
Woo!
I'm pretty sure that the guy that picked Frankenstein's army is a member of the Nazi Party.
At this point, it's hard to assume otherwise.
All right, so before we figure out why the hell Kannon subjected us to this, let's dive into what this movie is, besides a pile of shit. So Wallace and Teddy are the hosts of the Nazi Party podcast, and Wallace is about to interview Kill Bill Kid, who lost his leg in a popular viral video, which, I don't understand how any human being would find that video as funny as the kid from Sixth Sense seems to find that video. But
yeah, his forehead definitely grew into his body, but it still grew a little too big.
Oh my god, are we talking about Haley Joel Osment? Because I almost feel bad about making fun of him because I have so many notes that just revolve around Haley Joel Osment.
So Wallace is going to Canada to find to interview this kid, and then he finds out that the kid has committed suicide. And he finds a ad where this guy, Howard... Was it Howard Howe, right?
Howard Howe, yes.
Yeah, Howard Howe is promising a lifetime of stories. And I honestly don't understand how this one ad would literally ever succeed for anybody. Wallace is the only person that falls into the very specific requirement that ad is designed for.
Well, wait, hold on a second, though, because that's the only part of the entire film that's based on reality.
Yeah, no, it was a joke ad, though. It wasn't even a legitimate advertisement.
Are you sure about that? Because on Craigslist, I've gotten all kinds of walrus affiliated action. Okay, no, forget it. Can you edit that part out?
You're hanging out in the right parts of Craigslist, Kannon.
So,
I want to know what parts of Craigslist you're.
I'll tell you. Casual encounters. That's where you meet friends, lifelong friends.
So Wallace sets up an interview to talk to Howard about his life, and he tells him how his life was saved by a walrus that he named Mr. Tusk, and it rescued him from a shipwreck. And then Wallace passes out, and he wakes up the next morning strapped to a wheelchair with no left leg. Howard tells him that he plans to turn him into a walrus. In an attempt to escape, he leaves a voicemail for his girlfriend Allie, who he's constantly cheating on. Allie and Teddy then fly out to Canada to try to save Wallace while he's being mutilated further. And then enters Johnny Depp, and, holy shit, this movie's bad. And Wallace...
Wait, Johnny Depp?
Yeah.
That's the French detective. Oh my god. Holy shit, Scott didn't know that!
You want to know who I thought it was? I thought it was the guy who wrote Wet Hot American Summer, and I was like, why is he in this? It's terrible.
Oh, Michael Showalter?
Yes.
Oh, no. My fucking God.
That's Johnny Depp. That's Johnny Depp, and Johnny Depp and Kevin Smith's daughters play the two girls working at the convenience store.
Wow.
Yeah. So Wallace...
Why?
Yeah.
This movie is garbage.
So Wallace has completely been broken and is now conditioned to be a walrus. And that's when Howard reveals that he actually killed and ate Mr. Tusk, but has since been turning people into walruses to give Mr. Tusk a second chance.
Yeah, he feels guilty about it or something.
He has created his own walrus suit, and they fight, but Wallace wins by impaling him with his tusk. A year later, Wallace still believes he's a walrus and lives in a wildlife sanctuary. Allie and Ted come to visit him, and Wallace cries, showing that he's still human because of some stupid conversation at the beginning of this movie.
I mean, here's a really quick tip. Take him out of that fucking walrus suit. Is that fucking difficult?
No, listen. What we should do is we should find that walrus suit and make Justin live in it for a week because he really needs to be punished for being in this film.
Oh my god! I guarantee. I mean, that's this movie, isn't it? I mean, Justin Long has served his penance, right? Like, because he definitely was in that walrus suit for like a week,
looking like something out of fucking Basket Case. Like, that is like the shittiest looking fucking practical effect in a long goddamn time. I would take the claymation version of the fucking Basket Case puppet over seeing that fucking walrus again.
Well, how can you like Basket Case and not like Tusk?
Because Basket Case is the opposite spectrum of horror comedy, where there's
no comedy in this. There's no
right, but it's trying to be funny. But
Kannon, there's a long list of reasons why I could definitely watch Basket Case over this movie any fucking day of the week.
Okay, so let's talk about the comedy in this movie, because so the end of this movie, it really, really bothers me. It really bothers me. Because at the end of the movie, they actually play the clip of the podcast where they started to come up with the idea for Tusk, and it shouldn't exist. That should not be at the end of the movie for 3 different reasons. Reason number 1, the movie that they're describing sounds like a way better movie than you just watched, because it actually sounds funny, like it actually has some type of comedy in it, where this movie lacked comedy. It completely negates any attempt that they tried to do with sincerity or having some type of emotional resonance at the end of the movie, because it's them laughing about how stupid the ending of the movie is. So then you start to wonder who the fuck this movie's actually for, and then it reminds us how incredibly uncreative Kevin Smith is by proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that Wallace and Teddy are literally just him and Scott Mosier.
Yeah, no, like that end of the movie is just really fucking pathetic. Like, and I mean, okay, you can hear them. You can hear like how this was at one point in time like a funny conversation between 2 friends. But when you take a 40 chunk of your movie, like a 40-minute chunk of your movie, and you make a man just scream in pain, just holler at the top of his lungs like he has been fucking ruined in pain for 40 minutes, how do you interject comedy into that?
Yeah.
How do you make it funny? You just don't.
Literally the only good thing in this movie is like Michael Parks is going way above and beyond what this movie deserves as far as his acting.
Yes. Yeah, okay.
He's like the only one who seems to get what the movie is, because Kevin Smith certainly fucking didn't get what the movie was.
No, that's a good point. I kind of saw it as because the entirety of the movie is not particularly funny. I didn't laugh at all at any of the Guy Laponte character is kind of absurd.
Dude,
I didn't understand why he was in the movie.
Can we talk about the 10 fucking minute sequence that's literally just Canadian accents are funny? Like, it serves no other fucking purpose than that. Like it's like Kevin Smith watched Fargo and was like, "Oh, we should do what they do in Fargo, but with Canadian accents."
And then made his 14-year-old daughter do it, who has no idea how to fucking act, and is just fucking awful.
Hey,
oh
that's
God.
the star of his next movie you're talking about.
Oh, wow. Am I ever going to watch that?
Yeah,
Oof,
Yoga
Hosers
Hosers or whatever the shit it's called.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I'm actually camped outside of my local movie theater right now as we're recording.
You know what? I just realized we do have an actual Canadian on the podcast, because, like, this movie...
Oh, my God, a real-life Canadian!
Yeah. Well, no, because I'm like, this movie offended me as a podcaster. I wonder if it offended Adam as a Canadian.
No, yeah, it did. It did for a couple different reasons. And, I mean, the main reason being Johnny Depp, who is doing, like, the most obnoxious, uptight, fucking retarded accent that I've ever heard of anybody in my entire life. And then it cuts to that scene with Johnny Depp and Michael Parks.
Yeah, it's
where, like,
horrible.
And he plays... Oh my God! Like, just words that I can't even say out loud. Like, it's just so offensive. It's so bad.
Yeah, I mean, this movie. God damn it, Kannon! Like, I watched this movie once before, and I was like, I'll rewatch it for the podcast because maybe I'll like it more. But no, I actually hated it even more the second time around. And what pisses me off, again, I said this offends me as a podcaster. What really offends me as a podcaster is how many podcasts I respect were all promoting the shit out of this fucking movie. Like every podcast I listened to that
I love
summer.
his response, like,
I really like Tusk. I recognize it's a terrible movie.
Fucking why? Why do you like this?
I think 20 years from now, people are going to watch this film and compare it to Basket Case. Like it's the same terrible fucking dialogue, acting, the same. Except it has really good cinematography. I don't know why, but cinematography is fantastic.
I literally question. Here's a tough question because I can't decide. Which is the worst Kevin Smith horror movie? Is it this or Red State?
Oh god,
Red State.
Red
State is
Red State. I rubbed it. I loved it. It was. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
kept on saying
I rubbed it too. I totally rubbed everything about it. Like that was a beautiful movie. Red State was actually halfway decent. I mean, and you had like a grounded premise, right? Where somebody just goes somewhere and then gets hooked up by these like weird fucking religious weirdos and gets killed. That made sense. Kevin Smith was high out of his fucking gourd when he came up with this shit. And then I feel like he almost like did it like as a dare, like somebody like his audience dared him to go through with it. And it was just so fucking unfunny. It was just so uncool. I felt sick.
Yeah.
Through a lot of this movie.
I remember reading an interview where he referred to Tusk as his passion project, and I wanted to punch a goddamn wall. I'm like, no. I'm like, the movie that you came up with when you were stoned recording a podcast is not your fucking passion project. Chasing Amy, passion project. Dogma, that's a passion project. Clerks 1, that's a passion product. Fucking Tusk is not a passion project. It's like...
Honestly, I liked Kevin Smith so much more before he started smoking pot.
Oh man, pot ruined Kevin Smith so fucking fast.
Like, if I ever have kids and they ask me about weed, I'm gonna be like, take a look at this guy. This is Exhibit A of the ways that pot will wreck your life. Like, Jesus.
Yeah, because literally he started smoking pot after Zack and Miri. He made Red State, Cop Out, and this. Like, I used to love everything that Kevin Smith made. Now, not so much.
Can't say that anymore.
Yeah, no. God damn it. God damn this fucking movie.
Okay,
You guys have never been so fired up about a movie.
Well,
I'm the relaxed one here today.
Well, because for me, like, you have to understand, like, Kevin Smith is one of the reasons why
you want to be.
Like Clerks was like a life-changing movie for me, and then watching shit like Tusk, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you shouldn't have had a career to begin with, and now you're stepping so far away from like the thing that you're good at, which is like dialogue-driven characters films, and just like doing this shit, and it's. Like, you listen to him in interviews, and he's definitely that guy that's like, oh, you make a fat joke before someone else can so that they don't make fat jokes about you type guy. Yeah. And I feel like he got so sensitive that people were like, oh, all your movies are kind of the same, that he's trying so hard to make movies that aren't like Clerks, but they're not good. Like, Clerks is what he's good at.
No. See, Matt, if you smoked a lot of weed, you would realize that, You would realize that when you're really fucking high, some of this shit actually sounds like a really good idea, right? It sounds like if I was super fucking stoned and somebody just gave me the premise for Tusk, I'd be like, dude, that's fucking hilarious. But he didn't stop. He didn't stop smoking weed. He kept smoking weed, and he actually made the premise for this movie. Oh my god. You need to know when to stop, Kevin. You need to know when to cut that shit out.
Well, Adam,
okay, go ahead.
I think we need to talk about Kevin.
Oh my god, guys, we need to talk about that. He did so much worse than with a bow. This is way fucking worse. He subjected way more people to his weird fucking shit.
Well, before I saw the trailers for Tusk, because I remember listening to that episode that they came up with the idea for Tusk, because I used to love Smodcast. And I remember that I thought that the movie was going to be like a wacky buddy comedy about like this dude who just moves into a guy's apartment, but like the rules, he has to be dressed like a walrus at all times. And it was going to be like Wilfred. And I was like, oh man, that movie would be kind of fucking awesome.
Hold on a second. So earlier you said that most, like his earlier films, like Clerks, were dialogue driven. Their character development and dialogue driven. But hold on a second. The Tusk is entirely dialogue driven.
Yeah,
it's entirely dialogue driven.
But here's the thing: the original, the thing with the difference between that though is you watch Clerks. And you can connect and relate to that dialogue because it's coming from a genuine place of like someone at a point in their life where they really didn't know what to do with their lives. So you watch that and you connect to it. Like Chasing Amy, you watch it and you connect to this guy being in love with someone that will never love him back. You watch Dogma and you can connect with this battle of like formerly being part of a religious group and not being part of that anymore and loss of faith. Like, he has dialogue that you can connect to. There's no dialogue to connect to with fucking Tusk because it's goddamn ludicrous from the start.
Well, wait.
No. Fuck you, Kannon. Do not even try and defend this fucking movie.
But wait, it should connect to you on some deeper level because it's a story about a bunch about some podcasters.
A bunch of Canadians?
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
Dude, that is so
some Canadian podcasters.
This is directly aimed at me, and I hate every goddamn minute of it. I hate it. I hate it so bad.
But the podcasters are super negative, right? and they're tearing shit down, and then they're looking for another story to tear down. They meet the wrong guy this time, and then so now we can talk about character development. So he starts off as kind of this misogynistic Gen Xer podcaster. And,
you know that you're describing a better movie than the actual movie that you made us watch.
I described that movie perfectly, I think the terrible reveal at the end where he's turned into a walrus. I think that message you guys didn't like that. I think you're secretly afraid.
That's one of the things we didn't like, including the rest of the goddamn film.
Oh, geez, you had me up until that point, and then you lost me, Kannon. All right.
Well, for starters, I don't understand how their podcast. Here's the thing. There's no reason that any human being would listen to the Nazi Party podcast. First of all, it's not
sucks.
Yeah, the joke sucks.
There is one joke in this entire goddamn movie that works, and that's when they're in the car and she's talking to 911, and 911 is like, "Do you have any recent pictures of him?" And she's like, "Yeah. Go to NaziParty.com." And she's like, "Oh my god, they hung up." Like, that's it. That's out of an hour and 45-minute movie that's supposed to be fucking funny. That was a 12-second joke.
I didn't even think that was funny. That was just kind of like a boring waste of space.
Well, but what I'm saying is, like, look, we're not a popular podcast. You know what I mean? Like, we're a podcast that has a decent level of listenership for what it is. The only reason that we have the listenership that we have is because we talk about movies like fucking Tusk that people have seen and want to hear get torn down. But comparing us to a Smodcast that people listen to because it's fucking Kevin Smith and they know who it is, or Doug Loves Movies, or any of these other podcasts that are way more popular because it's semi-famous established people. They don't establish either Wallace or Teddy as doing anything but podcasting. Somehow, these two guys who talk about YouTube videos, which doesn't make any sense for an audio podcast at all, it is somehow so popular that they can make a living on it and fly to Canada at the drop of a hat.
He literally says that he made $100,000 in advertising last year, and that doesn't include T-shirts or merchandising or anything like that. Hey, I have a story for you.
Okay.
I used to listen to the Smodcast. I used to listen to that whole series of podcasts quite a bit.
Yeah.
Okay. And I used to listen to Hollywood Babylon. You guys ever listen to that?
Not really. I listened to one episode because my friend was on it, but that was literally the only time I listened to that show.
Okay. They talk about butt sex a lot on that show. they
I'm
they
learning
constantly
a lot about you right now.
Yeah, absolutely. You're getting an insight into my mind. They talk about they talk about butt sex almost constantly. Like if somebody has a birthday in the audience, they'll like corner their girlfriend and be like, "Oh, you totally should give that guy butt sex." They talk about it constantly. And I had a girlfriend.
It sounds
and
like the stupidest shit ever, Adam.
Oh, it's awful. It's really, really bad. I've stopped listening to it since then. But I had a girlfriend at the time, and me and her used to listen to it a lot. And it actually, it broke that barrier for us. And I definitely got butt sex because of that podcast.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations. That was like one of the weirder things I've ever heard anybody tell me.
I'm so glad I don't have time to edit this podcast. All right, do we want to...
Anyways, do we want to do notes?
I was going to say, I think it might be time to get into the notes.
All right. So this is Tusk notes. Wow. I mean, we're only 1 minute in, and they're already showing us the walrus effect. Oh shit! Wait, that's just Haley Joel Osment.
Oh. Can we just get a sound bite of Adam's laugh? Can we have that be one of the new puppets in Puppet Master 50? John Hamm is obviously going to be Toulon.
Well, yes, absolutely. I mean, we wouldn't do it without him. Anyways, the scene where the kid chops off his own leg. Oh my god, that was the fakest fake bullshit I've ever seen. Like,
okay, I thought that scene was showing that the kid like added shit in After Effects and didn't actually chop his own leg off. And so when they're like, "Oh, we're gonna go see this kid who actually chopped his own leg off," and we were laughing about it on the podcast, I was like, "What? That really happened?" I just think that it was poorly presented. I don't know.
You know what's a really relevant reference to make in a film from 2013 is a Star Wars kid reference.
No.
Scott,
Man,
honestly though, you actually just wrote a better movie than me. That would have been way better. Okay, the Nazi party. I'm judging them. I mean, we're 3 minutes into this movie, and I already hate the writing of this movie. Right?
What did you think? What did you think of the guy with the beard at the very beginning of the movie? I was offended. On behalf of all Canadians.
Yeah, absolutely. I was you're talking about the guy from Epic Mealtime. You're talking about Harley. Do you guys have you guys ever seen Epic Mealtime?
I've seen like
watched
one episode.
One episode, yeah.
Oh my god, that's huge up here. It's I won't even lie.
That is
actually
a lot.
That's actually huge up here. That guy is super famous up here, but only up here. And it was weird seeing him in a movie, but he actually did have like one good joke. He said that was at the end of the entire spiel. He was like, "You don't say Hitler in an airport. You just don't. Stop." So it was okay. I'm not. I wasn't a big fan of that scene. that could have been. It could have been anybody else, and it wouldn't have mattered. Yeah. So I mean, we get to the scene in the bathroom where he reads the ad, and I mean, we've all been there, right? You know, finding semen on a bathroom wall in a bar.
That's a better joke that could have been in this movie.
Yeah. I'm not going to hang it up now because I don't think that you'll get a better joke in Horror Movie Night than that one.
All right, that's definitely something to hang your hat on.
You got a solid semen joke in there. It's time to retire.
This ad is insanely detailed. I mean, it's just an ad for room and board, right? And he's like, on Tuesday, November the 5th, I definitely was on a boat at that time. You know, like he's really overwriting it.
Room and board with board spelled B-O-R-E-D.
Man, stupid.
I can't believe at this point in the movie, I cannot believe that there is still 90 fucking minutes to this movie.
Yeah, I thought that the denouement of the stupid Tusk of the actual transformation was going to be in the last 15 minutes. No.
Yeah.
It wasn't even about that.
It's a real fucking human centipede issue.
Which I still haven't seen and I refuse to.
Yeah, no, you're not missing anything. But
oh my god, no! Human Centipede is way fucking better than this movie.
Oh, I'm not saying
that,
but Human Centipede also suffers the same fate of introducing the Human Centipede 40 minutes in the movie, and then you're like, well, what the fuck else are you going to do with this movie?
Yeah, but they actually have an interesting concept with that, right? At least there's a scene in that movie where it's like, haha, guess what? You have to eat his shit. In this movie, it's just that guy just screams. Justin Long just screams that he's a fucking walrus for so long.
He keeps yelling cuckoo cuckoo and shit. It's weird.
Wow. Adam's really fucking losing it.
I think he's finally transformed.
Yes. Oh, God.
I am the Eggman. Oh my god. That's actually... Okay, I don't actually have to write. I don't have to say the rest of my notes because you just fucking killed it. That was awesome. Oh my god, that was amazing. Oh my god, that was so good. Anyways, so Justin Long keeps talking. He's drinking that tea. He says that his mom is the worst, his dad is the worst, his grandma is the worst. He's really upset with his family. You know what? If everywhere you go there's an asshole, that might mean that you're the asshole, Justin Long. I don't know, you know?
Well, I think I think they were trying to. I don't
No, they were
understand.
succeeding in making him sound like a total prick, but it's just so over the top. No true asshole is ever going to say half the shit that he said, especially just some dude that he's supposed to be interviewing. He's making fun of everything the guy has in the house and making fun of his tea. And also, if that tea has a drug in it, why is it the best tea ever? This movie's so stupid.
Well, no, but I was going to say I can't decide if. So, all the stuff that Wallace does is the stuff that you do to a character that you want us to not feel bad for what happens to them.
Yeah.
Which I totally get, except that, by the end of the movie, they want us to be sympathetic for him, and, there's no reason to ever be sympathetic towards him because he's a dick to everybody.
No, except I am sympathetic for him because he screams. All he does is yell for the second half of the movie, and I can't help but be empathetic. I can't help but feel for his plight because he's a fucking walrus for the whole second act of the movie. But I mean, okay, explain to me this. Tell me what this writing fucking prompt is. Why do we care about the fact that he's cheating on his girlfriend?
Yeah.
I mean, why does that make any kind of fucking difference? Why is there that weird soliloquy into the camera where she talks about the fact that he's been cheating on her? Who fucking cares? They immediately discount that
because she's cheating on him.
Oh my god, it's so fucking. But I mean, like, it's like, oh, he's a piece of shit. He's been cheating on me. Blah 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 blah. Cut to the morning, and they immediately hop on a plane and start searching for him. What what was the point of the last 25 minutes of the fucking movie? Why? Who cares? Oh my god.
Kannon, look what you're doing to us.
Kannon, what the
Adam is
fuck?
really losing it today.
I thought Kevin Smith's message would resonate. And you'd suddenly start saying good things about the movies you've been watching. But
Are you
apparently,
basically punishing us for being intelligent?
I was terribly wrong. Well, that's debatable.
Look, I won't say what we're watching in the next couple weeks, but I can promise you the next two movies is a whole lot of praise being thrown at some films.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because those movies are good.
Hey,
Yeah.
come on,
Hey, Kannon, guess what?
Tell me
We actually watched good movies. The next couple of weeks.
You watched a good movie.
We watched two of them back to back. It was weird.
Tell me one of them. Tell me. I kind of want to.
No, it's got to be a surprise.
I
Don't tell him.
I mean, I can tell you that it's definitely not Slumber Party Massacre 3.
Yes, it is definitely not Slumber Party Massacre 3 or Slumber Party Massacre 1.
Wow. Way to narrow it down, guys.
Oh, sorry. It's Puppet Master 5.
Okay, okay, so here's my question. This guy has a gigantic fucking house. He is so rich. He's super fucking rich.
He killed the owner. I thought that was the whole point. He keeps moving around.
No, he didn't, because he had Ernest Hemingway's whiskey bottle at the one side of the fireplace, and he had the walrus cock at the top.
Yeah, also it's really, really weird that they brought that out. Like, that, I don't know. This movie makes me feel very uncomfortable. I just don't like it at all.
Well, there's that one scene where Justin Long is like, what is that, like a shoulder bone or something? And he's like, no, that's a cock. And he's like, well, that's not fair.
That's exactly why they put that out. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that was actually pretty funny.
I don't think that was supposed to actually be Ernest Hemingway's bottle of whiskey. I think the character
so
was
everything's a lie?
Yeah.
Well, you're telling me the crazy guy who was turning people into walruses wasn't being honest throughout the film?
Are you trying to say that people would lie on the internet?
Think people would just do that?
Go on the internet and lie?
I think the whole reason why they had that scene with Guy Laponte, Johnny Depp, and the crazy walrus man was to establish that the crazy walrus man was just completely fucking batshit insane. That he was just totally making up his backstory. There was no walrus that rescued him from the Arctic Ocean.
Okay, wow. No, I do not agree with that statement whatsoever. No.
All right, handle it. Do it.
What? You're reading this movie way different than I was, King.
Well, just tell. I mean, what evidence do you have to support that?
His eyeballs?
This is why episodes with Kannon are like an hour and a half long. He sidetracks it with his fantasy version of the movie.
God, shit. Seriously, come on, Kannon.
Yeah, Kannon, it's real easy to like a movie when you just make up your own version of it while you're watching it.
Okay. Well, okay.
I love Adam's like punctuation burps.
Have you guys watched Rick and Morty yet? I'm literally Rick from Rick and Morty. Okay, so just roll with these punches, Kannon. Say this guy is rich enough to afford this house, right? to be able to, afford a gigantic mansion. Why doesn't he just buy a fucking walrus?
Walrus? Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Dude,
But I mean, if he's so sexually frustrated, and the only way that he can get off is to fuck a walrus, guess what? You can just buy a fucking walrus. That's not that big of a fucking deal. You could totally just do that.
I don't think we're supposed to apply logic to this movie, but
why are you?
It's just like Scott. Well,
That's all you've
it's
been
just
doing
like
for the
Scott.
last 20 minutes.
I can't help
come
myself.
on.
It's just like Scott said. He killed the owner of that house. I mean, they kind of established that the guy was basically a serial killer, that he had been killing lots of people.
I thought that was the point, is that the showing, oh my God, it's Johnny Depp. I'm still reeling from that. Showing Johnny Depp coming to that other house and him acting this other person. So I agree with Kannon that wasn't Ernest Hemingway's Flask or whatever. I assume that he has a different persona that he uses to get people to his house wherever he's staying so that he can kill them there. And he killed the owner of that house, and that was his place for his persona. But the one problem with that is that there were other transformed humans in the water when Justin Long got dropped in. So I don't know, maybe he just sticks around long enough to until he feels like somebody else is getting close to him, and then he runs to the next place. I don't know. I again, way too much logic for this movie. But I think the point of that whole 10-minute stupid scene where Johnny Depp quote unquote met him, is the fact that that he uses the same idea, there's a brown in the house. Can you come and check it out? I think he uses that on people, and he turns them into walruses.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
Fair enough.
And I take it that you now all love the movie. So.
Yes.
Yep.
Actually,
changed my opinion entirely now.
Let's just if you like the movie so we can stop talking about it.
All right, great.
How many more notes do you have on this bad boy?
I got one more, a page and a half. A page and a half.
Okay, we got this.
So this is the point in the story. This is the point in the movie where he explains why he's a psycho, which is a long drawn. Oh, sorry, excuse me. Drawn out. I know. A long drawn out story about underage boy rape, which I'm like, oh wow, this movie's really bringing the funny. Oh, is it ever? Woo! This is just hilarious. To watch this movie or to be a walrus, which would be
worse?
Better? I'm fucking taking walrus. I would 100%.
If I would
walrus
be able to get to kill the antagonist of this film, yes.
Yes, absolutely.
There's also the continually erect penis that's 3 feet long.
Yeah, that's a selling point for me, Kannon.
That's a reason to watch a movie, yeah, for sure.
Go ahead, Ed.
Just the dialogue scenes, this movie did not need to be this fucking long.
Nope.
Right? I mean,
that is so long, yeah.
Every scene is so fucking exhaustingly long. Michael Parks fucking knocks it out of the park, absolutely, but you don't need him to have a 15-minute dialogue scene every time he's on screen. You know what? Johnny Depp. It still blows my mind that Scott did not realize that was Johnny Depp.
It's because I was honed in on it being Michael Showalter. Because if you look at them side by side, not Michael Showalter, 2015 because he's a fat shit now, but Michael Showalter 1999, 2002, whatever, when they were. Oh, I guess that would be 2004 when they did the original Wet Hot American Summer.
Scott. We're all judging you. There's no getting
No,
away
I
from it.
get what he's saying, though. He does look like he's dressed up like Michael Showalter.
Also, I have way too much respect for Johnny Depp to believe that he was that shitty of an actor in this film.
Nah,
like,
He
I
was
can see Michael
just that
Showalter.
fucking bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was awful. He
Well,
was
that-
fucking-
I'm pretty
that
sure he'll
looks
agree
like-
to do anything as long as he gets to play dress up. Like, I think that's like his rule now.
Nothing wrong with that.
But his scenes were 45 fucking minutes long. Like that scene where he's like, you know what? I think I met him one time, and then Michael Parks pretends to be retarded, and he comes up onto his porch. I mean, did that scene really need to be 25 fucking minutes long?
I don't
Why?
think it was, but that's okay.
You could convey the same information in 90 seconds
Yeah.
that you conveyed in that fucking scene.
Are you asking Kevin Smith to be like succinct because you know that's never going to happen?
He's so fucking stoned. He's so fucking high the whole time that he's writing this movie that everything feels like it's 90 seconds, but it's actually 15 minutes long. Oh my god, he's so fucking high, guys. Yeah, I mean, and then it makes the movie feel like you're running a marathon, man.
It does.
It's so fucking long, and then I don't know, and then you eventually do see the walrus, and it's a cross between like an uncircumcised cock and like the brain bug.
a half
Like,
circumcised.
do you remember the end of Starship Troopers where we get
Of
to see like,
course.
the brain bug? It's
Yes.
a cross between an uncircumcised cock and that brain bug, right?
Adam,
Like
say
this-
cock again.
Cock. Cock. It's an uncircumcised cock. Okay, you know what? The walrus fight at the end of this movie is actually kind of fucking hilarious. That's kind of fucking funny. I did enjoy that, but I mean he kills him, and then they discover him in that room. It cuts to a year later. Have they tried taking him out of that
Out of the
fucking
suit.
suit? I mean,
Well, I don't know if you noticed, but the suit is made from his skin. So
No,
It's made-
it's other people's skin.
other people's skin, yeah.
Oh, well, still okay.
So I mean, why? Like, oh my god! It's like as if like you discovered a serial killer. You're like, Buffalo Bill or something, and you're like, yeah, you know what? He prefers to be in a women's suit. I'll just leave him in that. What? Why? That's not okay. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that for anybody.
Adam,
Take him
don't
out of
be
that
so-
fucking suit.
Don't be so speciesist,
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm definitely man.
dude. Tumba's gonna come down hard on this episode.
Well, I mean, Cannon's official file, right? Definitely deep into this. Are you?
Are
I
walruses fish?
have to confess I haven't experimented with that yet.
Hey,
Well,
Cannon, let me ask you a question.
Go
How do you
ahead.
feel about gay fish?
Pretty good about it.
Hey,
I-
are
Wait,
walruses
I- oh,
actually fish?
Shit, I wrecked that. I wrecked that joke. I really
It's okay. I knew what you were getting at, and I just wanted to circumvent that. Hey, Cannon, you're smart. Are walruses fish?
I'm not smart. And yes, they are. They are almost certainly fish. They
Are you 100% sure? How many books did you didn't read any books for this podcast?
No,
Fuck.
no, I didn't.
Wait, you're actually wrong. Walrus are mammals, are they not?
What?
Matt, you haven't talked for like 5 minutes. I hope it's because you're either going to the bathroom, eating food, or looking up whether fish are walruses are fish.
I'm doing none of those things.
Why? God, I do everything myself. You guys are such dicks.
Wait, is there greater significance to this question?
I just want you to be wrong.
So you
I
want
just want to punish
No,
you.
it is
I
a
want-
marine mammal.
Sorry, it's really funny.
You know what? Take every fucking walrus that exists and put them in goddamn marine world, because I'm just done with them. I fucking hate them. I'm so fucking done with walruses right now. And oh my god, look at that tiny, tiny space that they give him at the end of this fucking movie. They give him like a 12-foot pool and this weird like little tiny teepee hut. You know that's a man inside of a walrus costume. Why wouldn't you treat him better than that? Oh my god! I hate this movie. I fucking hate this movie. Fuck you, Kannon. Fuck you.
He's real upset.
I thought you guys might treat it as you would like any other bad, like really bad, like intentionally bad 80s horror movie. But I think it's the era in which it came out, which might be coloring your expectations for this film.
No.
Watch it in 20. Like, just watch it in 20 years, and then
no, because of the end credits. The end credits, it's literally Kevin Smith going like, "Isn't this funny? Isn't this the funniest fucking shit you ever heard? So this is hilarious that I did this, isn't it?" And then he actually made the movie.
In this movie, 1, Justin Long into a walrus. 2, Kevin Smith into Scott McFarlane.
Should I talk about the short film that I wanted to write?
Yes, no, actually, give us the quick plot synopsis of it, because that's fucking funny. That's way funnier than this actual movie.
I had proposed this short film one time in my writing group that we might still try to write and shoot one day, that was going to be called Smith, and the concept was a podcaster gets a chance to interview Kevin Smith, and Kevin Smith just gets him stoned and forces him to eat until he's a fat blob like him. He starts walking around wearing hockey shirts and talking about asinine bullshit.
It's so much better. It's so much better than Tusk.
All right, now we're all on the same page. We can stop talking about this stupid movie.
Okay, so Kannon, you got anything you need to plug?
How many holes has your body been subjected to from tusks?
My mouth and teeth are disturbed.
I was going to plug my day job.
Okay.
I was going to read my shit anyway. Go ahead.
All right. Well, what have you watched this week?
I didn't. I was traveling and I didn't have time to watch anything.
All right. Well, you made this quick and easy for us. I'll go real quick. I watched the double disc Blu-ray of Troll and Troll 2 that came in the mail from Scream Factory. And here's the thing that I realized while rewatching these movies: like, we give Troll 2 a lot of credit for being just a really incredibly bad movie, but I feel like we give it so much credit that we overshadow how fucking weird and ridiculous Troll 1 is. Like, Troll 1 is goddamn bonkers.
I've never seen it. I've only ever seen Trolls 2.
And I'm the inverse. I've actually never seen the entire Troll 2.
Is Troll 1 where those little things are little invisible trolls?
Troll 1 is the one that stars Julie Louis-Dreyfus and Sonny Bono.
Yeah.
And, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah,
what?
And the main kid's name is Harry Potter, and his sister is possessed by a troll, and she turns everybody into weird trolls and turns the entire building into a giant rainforest.
Wow, I went from 6 to midnight. I'm watching that fucking shit out of that movie.
Exactly.
That sounds great.
But that's all I watched. Scott? Or Adam, which one do you think has the better movie to close?
Adam.
Well, all I've watched this week was more Ash versus Evil Dead, and everyone should be watching that 100%. It's really great, and I thought that they were, they had done something weird in the previous episode that I thought they, maybe weren't going to bring over. But they brought it over to the next episode, and it's fucking amazing. I cannot wait for the next episode. Can't wait for it. So that's it for me.
Okay. Scott?
I watched the Manitou for Horror Club, and I'm just going to tell you guys, don't waste your time. I got real excited because Tony Curtis was in it, and I'm like, yeah, I love Tony Curtis.
Well,
and,
that title already has me turned off way before you asked.
Yeah, because you're Canadian.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that movie, like, it starts out somewhat charming because Tony Curtis is in it, and I love Tony Curtis, but it is just bad. It is like, I don't even know I don't know what to compare it to. It's so stupid and bad. And the last, like, the final battle between the evil shaman and everybody else is like 1978's worst moments. It's just so bad. So don't waste your time on that. I'm really glad that we don't have to discuss that for Horror Movie Night. And then I am almost done watching Jessica Jones, and that is the darkest movie or TV show I think I've ever watched.
All
It's
right.
pretty messed up.
We got to watch that.
All right, Kannon, well, thanks for joining us, even though you made us watch this fucking piece of garbage.
And you're
Dear Kannon, I hate you, but I also love you.
Well, you know what? Well, let's be honest. We can't totally be angry at Kannon. There was like 9 people that contacted us to cover this movie. We can only be angry at Kannon because he picked it for Horror Movie Night, or for Horror Club, Reddit Horror Club, and we figured, all right, well, if they're going to be discussing it on Horror Club, we might as well just get Tusk out of the way.
Yeah, but he forced our fucking hands. I could have done with 2 fucking years of podcast before I ever watched this piece of fucking garbage.
Yeah, but now you never have to watch
so
it again.
bad.
You never have to watch it again.
Yeah, that's
Well,
good.
that makes 2 of us.
Absolutely.
You'll watch
Hey,
it again.
Kannon.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
Hey guys, that was Tusk. Hopefully we'll never have to watch that again, but I have a very strong feeling that we will be randomly discussing that movie throughout future episodes because holy shit.
Well, we'll certainly be comparing it to bad movies from this point forward.
Yeah.
Was it Tusk bad? I don't know about that.
That's true.
So next week, for our hint, we'll say listen to earlier in the episode when we give a really obvious hint. You can always send us
It's not
suggestions.
that obvious. Come on, man.
You can always send us suggestions at hmnpodcast@gmail.com. We're always going to be taking your requests for the most part. Just make them better than Tusk. That's pretty. We're setting the bar pretty low at this point.
Yeah, that's
Be
a
better
low bar to set. I mean, if you send us in a dick pic, that's still better.
So,
I mean,
so
just send us in the dick pic. It's cool.
So here's another one.
We
So
won't
so
judge.
you have to rewatch Tusk or Spaced Invaders.
What are you, out of your fucking mind? I watch Tusk any day of the week. Fuck that.
Yeah, at least. No, yeah, I'm with Adam.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening.
Kannon!
You know who I don't love is this guy who made me have to watch Tusk for a second time.
You watched it again?
Yeah, I watched it once before, and then I watched it a second time for this.
Oh shit! You should have just read the Wikipedia article. It's not a great movie.
Yeah, no fucking kidding.
Yeah, wow, that's the synopsis for it right there. That's the IMDb synopsis for it.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.